Hello, this is Sobirovs from Sobirovs Law Firm in Toronto, Canada. We help business owners and investors to become Canadian and immigrate to Canada with their families. In today's short video, I would like to explain how to buy a business in Canada for your immigration purposes and for your profit. So many clients, they ask us the following question. How can I combine my immigration goals with my business goals? For that, this is the video to watch. So don't miss it and watch it until the end. Now, there are 4 ways in Canada that you can buy a business. Basically, you can start a new business from scratch. You can incorporate as a foreigner who doesn't have a status in Canada. You still can operate your business in Canada. You can establish a business either federally or provincially. Second way is buying an existing business in Canada. And the third, of course, buying shares in the business, becoming a partner. And fourth is we differentiated another type of another method, buying it as franchisee, a franchise business. So there are pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages from the immigration perspective. So this video is the analysis of buying a business in Canada from the immigration perspective. Most of our clients, they want to become permanently based in Canada so that they can become permanent residents and in the future become Canadian citizens. So from that perspective, this is the video that we are analyzing. So starting a new business from scratch, the cost could be low, so you don't spend much money to establish a business in Canada. However, from the risk perspective, from profit-making perspective, the risks are high because your company is brand new. Nobody knows your company. You have to work hard to get new customers and so on. And to become a permanent resident, to move towards permanent residence, your company should exist in Canada successfully for 12 months in order for you to get in order for the company to make a job offer that can help in the future for your permanent residence. Difficulty to operate from the business perspective could be difficult because, as I said, you are brand new and nobody knows you in Canada. So conditions that you have to meet for permanent residency application is you have to maintain actively your company in Canada. You have to have a commercial office or a warehouse, depending on the nature of your business. You have to employ at least one Canadian resident or Canadian citizen. And of course, as I mentioned, you have to be in operation for 12 months minimum before you can use your company to become permanent resident. Second option, buying a business. There is a ready business in Canada. You want to buy that business. Cost-wise, it can be expensive because it's an established business with customers and operations. From the profit-making perspective, the risks are moderate. You can check whether that existing business has been making profit or not. And the no minimum requirements to wait until your new Canadian company, the one that you purchased, can make a job offer for you so that it can increase your chances for permanent residency. So there's no minimum time waiting as opposed to the first option, which is starting a new business. From difficulty to operate, to be honest, it's moderate as usual. Businesses are. You can check whether the industry is going to be successful or not. So difficulty of operation is moderate. And of course, in order for you to benefit from the ownership of the company, you have to own at least 51%, the majority of the shares of that company. Usually when you buy a business, we advise to buy 100% of shares, but sometimes you can become a partner and get the majority shares so that your company can make a job offer for you that can help for permanent residency. You have to maintain your active company. You cannot close it, so you have to maintain. And again, you have to employ at least one Canadian permanent resident or Canadian citizen. Okay, let's come to method number 3, buy shares in a business. It is very similar to the previous version, but in this case, you definitely buying shares some shares of an existing business. Because it will be partially owned by you, it should be majority owned by you, but you pay for shares, the cost could be moderate. So you don't pay for the whole company, right? You pay for the part of the company. And it should be 51%, of course. But again, risk of making profit is moderate, depending on the industry, and no minimum requirement. Easy to operate because you have your partner. You are not alone. You have a local partner who knows Canada, who has been in this business for some time. So you can lean onto your partner for expertise and guidance. And of course, again, for conditions for permanent residency application, company should have existed for at least 12 months and should be currently active at the time of your application. And company has sufficient funds in order to make a job offer, permanent job offer for you and pay your salaries while you wait for your permanent residency. And finally, buying a franchise. In Canada, there are many franchise businesses for sale, very famous ones, very expensive ones, and not so expensive ones. The cost of those businesses can be moderate because there are good brands that are sold around $100,000. The risk of making profit, we think that it's low because it's an established brand, it's a franchise that people know, and the risk that you will not make a profit is low. No minimum required time of operation before you apply for permanent residence, because you become an owner and immediately you can start preparing yourself for permanent residency. Difficulty to operate because franchisee is ready business in terms of training, infrastructure, branding, and stock of products and so on. It's easy to operate. So it's basically plug and play. You are given the franchise, and the franchising company already trains you and knows how things work. You become an owner, you get trained and start operating. And finally, conditions for permanent residency application is you have to maintain an active company and you have to hire at least one Canadian employee who is a Canadian permanent resident or Canadian citizen. So this is all. Again, we will be doing this kind of short videos in the future to explain you what are the benefits and risks and advantages, disadvantages of a certain immigration program. So stay tuned and subscribe to our social media channel. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you very much. Have a good day.